Hi, hello everyone, and welcome back to Warren's Team Talk. Thank you very much for coming to check me out and see what's going on. So I hope that you're all well and having a great day and surviving all this horrible snow and everything else. And I hope you're managing to stay nice and warm and keeping yourself safe. Anyway, so what we're doing today is we're going to review match day 13 of the English Premier League, the matches that kicked off, which were played, I should say, the weekend just gone. And I hope that's going to be enjoyable for you and that you're going to find it interesting. So, without further ado, let's get on with it. But before I do, can I just please ask you to put a like on the video? Please make sure that you share the video around with as many different people as you possibly can. And also, please remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. So if you can do that, it will really help me to make this channel be bigger and better. So thanks very much, guys, and let's get on with it. Okay, so before the games kicked off, this was the Premier League Premier League table. As you can see, Chelsea, Manchester City and Liverpool were in the top three positions, and with West Ham and Arsenal just behind them. And then the bottom three were Burnley, Norwich and Newcastle. Newcastle without a win, and Norwich with 2 points above them, and Burnley were 1 point ahead of Norwich. So, yeah, it looked quite tight down the bottom end of the table as it was at the top. So, it's been a very interesting season so far. I think we can all agree on that. Anyway, so let's get on with it. Let's go into the match day 13. Okay, so the first game of the weekend saw Arsenal play Newcastle United on Saturday morning, a game which Arsenal won by 2-0. And I have to say that the first half was an absolute snore fest. It was dreadful. And the second half, though, was a bit better. Things picked up a bit, thankfully. And the highlights of the game for me were Aaron Ramsdale's wonder save from John Joe Shelvey in the first half, where he flicked a long-range effort from John Joe Shelvey onto the bar. And also two fantastic goals, one from Bukayo Saka and one from Martinelli. I do feel, though, even though I'm an Arsenal fan, that Newcastle can feel aggrieved by some of the refereeing in this game, especially for the penalty that should have been awarded after a shove by Tavares on the Newcastle striker in the penalty area. And there were a number of other questionable decisions throughout the game. If they'd been gone against us, I would have been absolutely furious. So I think Arsenal can count themselves a bit lucky that they got out of this game with a win, to be fair. And, so not a great performance by Arsenal, but they got the 3 points. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters for Arsenal, from an Arsenal perspective. So the next game that happened saw Crystal Palace take on Aston Villa, and this saw the second successive win for Villa new boss Steven Gerrard, who I also refer to as Slippy G, which was an impressive win for Villa, given the impressive form that Palace had enjoyed before this. This is now 2 straight wins for Slippy G since he took over at Villa. And next up for Villa is Manchester City at home on Wednesday night. So obviously that's going to be a much bigger test for Villa. And it'll be interesting to see how they get on when they come up against Man City. The game saw John McGinn play very well for Villa, and he topped this off with a superb effort near the end of the game to make it 2-0 to the Villa. So, yeah, a good 3 points for Villa, really. Like I say, not the least because of the fact that Palace have been playing really well lately. The next game saw Liverpool take on Southampton at Anfield in a game where they run out very comfortable 4-0 winners. It was another impressive performance from Liverpool as they dismantled Southampton and posted another 4-0 win, which was back-to-back 4-0 demolitions in the Premier League. And Liverpool were 3-0 up at half-time, and to be honest, it could have been even more. It was obvious from the get-go that Southampton had set out in this game to have a go at Liverpool, but this policy backfired on them as Liverpool ripped them apart mercilessly. And I just want to read out some stats that I've found about Liverpool, which are that Liverpool have now scored in every Premier League fixture this season, and they have scored at least 2 goals in their last 17 games in all competitions. This is the best top-flight run by an English side in almost 100 years. They have scored 39 goals in their 13 league games so far this season, and this is the most that they have scored at this stage of a top-flight campaign, which surpasses even their 2019-20 title-winning season. So it's clear that they are absolutely ripping up the Premier League at this point. And the next game saw Norwich and Wolverhampton Wanderers battle out a 0-0 draw at Carrow Road. Now, I feel, given the recent run of form that Wolves have been on, this was a great result for Norwich and definitely a point gained rather than 2 dropped. Wolves are currently sitting 7th in the current form league table, with Norwich in 10th position in the current league table, and they're unbeaten in their last 3 games. So yeah, it was a good point for Norwich, I believe, and they're looking like they're improving with every game, to be frank. And the way things are going, I wouldn't be at all surprised to see them survive this season. And if they can then build on that next season, then things could be looking up for the Canaries. The next game saw Brighton take on Leeds at the Amex Arena in Brighton. This was yet another game that Brighton dominated, and they had, in my opinion, if they had a top quality striker or they improved on their ability to take chances, they would be far higher up the league table than what they are. And then I'm sure they would have won this game quite comfortably. The fact is, though, that they didn't, and the end of the game, they nearly lost the game when Leeds spurned a couple of really good chances to take the points. In the post-match interview, Graham Potter was quoted as saying, "I think I need to have a history lesson on this club," after being questioned about the Brighton fans booing the team at the end of the game. Because at the end of the game, the Brighton fans showed their displeasure with the Brighton drawing this game 0-0 by booing the team off. So, yeah, that didn't go down too well with Mr. Potter, let's say. So, the next game saw... let me find my notes. The next game I want to talk about is Brentford against Everton. This game, to me, looked quite an even game, but I felt Everton did enough to win it in the end. And I believe that they would have done had it not been for 2 shocking refereeing decisions by Mr. Darren England, and one which was assisted by VAR, which in my opinion, he completely misinterpreted what he'd seen. And my only criticism of the Everton players would be there's why they didn't kick up more of a stink about this, and also about the fact they weren't awarded a penalty themselves when Andros Townsend played a cross into the box and Rondon was yanked to the ground by a Brentford defender. And what made it worse, that the Rafa didn't seem to kick off about it either. Now, the referee did make a poor decision. The first poor decision, shocking decision, as I called it earlier, he made was in awarding Brentford a penalty in the first place when he and one Everton defender attempted to clear the ball and he accidentally connected, his boot accidentally connected with a Brentford attacker's head, and the referee decided to award a penalty. I don't know quite what he thought the Everton defender should have done in that situation, but yeah, the Brentford player got a penalty. I'm sorry, but I don't understand how that can possibly be a penalty. And to me, I've seen now Brentford now benefit from several shocking refereeing decisions, and it seems to me that they seem to like bending the rules for their own advantage, like hauling people to the ground or blocking people the way they do from corners or whatnot. And I just think it needs to be taken in hand, and because I would like someone to point out to me where it says in the rule book you're allowed to do that. Since when has it been allowed to haul people to the ground like they did in this game that I'm talking about here, the Brentford-Everton game, to when defending a cross? When has it been acceptable to throw a goalkeeper to the ground when he's facing a corner? I'm sorry, but the last time I looked, it wasn't in the rule book you're allowed to do that. So this, to me, it's flagrant cheating, and it needs to be stamped out. The problem is that if you give these clubs a hand, they will take the whole arm, in my opinion. And to me, this is just another example of why English officials don't get to officiate in top international tournaments or matches. And the reason for that is because they're shit. They're absolutely shit. They're incapable of implementing the rules of the game as they are, and as they are in the rule book, or they're corrupt, or both. And I think it's probably the latter, that they're corrupt and they're shit. So this result now means that Everton's dip in form has now reached alarming proportions. After 6 games, they were fifth in the table after taking 13 points. However, since then, they have only taken a further 2 points. And in Everton's last 7 Premier League games, they've only taken 2 points, which is the worst in the Premier League. They've had an average possession of 39.5% possession in their games, which is 17th worst in the league. They've only managed to have 21 shots on target, which puts them 18th equal in the league. And they've only managed to score 4 goals, which puts them bottom of the Premier League table. So they really need to make drastic improvements, in my opinion. Otherwise, they're going to be in serious trouble in this league. That's all I really can say about that. Now, Burnley against Tottenham. Now, this game got called off, I believe, 50 minutes before it was due to kick off. and because of a heavy snowfall. So, yeah, this game never ever got played, so it will be rearranged at a later date. The next game I want to talk about is Leicester against Watford. Leicester, Leicester are at home to Watford at the King Power Stadium. After going 1-0 up through a horrendous mistake from Watford's Trust Kong when he ducked a long ball forward from Leicester, a la, what's the name of that guy who played for Arsenal, did it? David Luiz, and James Maddison benefited from this mistake and easily dispatched the chance that was given to him and to put the Foxes 1-0 up. Watford started to dominate the game after this, and they missed some good chances to lead the game. Watford were unfortunate not to equalise when Hernandez struck a long-range effort from outside the box, which deflected off Sayuncu and hit the post with Kasper Schmeichel beaten all ends up. Then Watford deservedly equalised from a penalty scored by Josh King after Leicester's Ndidi fouled his international teammate Dennis. By half-time, Leicester were 3-1 up thanks to 2 goals from Jamie Vardy, which were both assisted by James Maddison. Now, during the half-time break, the snow, which had been falling increasingly heavily during the first half, had started to settle, and the Watford keeper had been apparently complaining to the referee about not being able to see the ball because of the snow. But Watford then pulled back a disputed goal to make it 3-2, thanks to Dennis. The goal was checked by VAR but was allowed to stand. And then just 7 minutes later, Leicester added a 4th through Lookman after Barnes put Lookman in for an easy tap-in to restore their 2-goal lead. So, yeah, that was the Leicester-Watford game. So we got some chats in here, so I'm just going to go and see what that's all about. And the first one's from Luca Life, and he says, Hi, Luca. Nice to see you, mate. Thanks for coming in. And he also says, big up. Yeah, big up to you as well, man. I hope that you're doing well. I watched one of your videos the other day and really, really enjoyed it. And I put some comments in the chat. So thanks for reading them out, mate. And thanks for your support from when I'm doing my videos as well. I really appreciate it. Hi, James Dunlop says, Hi, Warren. I hope you're well. Sorry, I've been gone a while. Been ill the last couple of days and been busy with Christmas preparation with the family. Mate, you don't have to apologise. It's absolutely fine. I thought you were just busy with work or family stuff or whatnot. No, don't worry about that, please. I just had a little bit of a rant about the Everton game. I don't know if you saw it. Yeah, I'm absolutely fuming about the refereeing performance in that game. I don't think Brentford should have been given that penalty, and I think you should have had a penalty as well. It was absolutely disgusting. It had a nasty smell of corruption about it, that game, in my opinion. And like I was saying earlier, I think that Brentford seem to benefit from these sorts of decisions quite a lot, to be quite frank. Anyway, I didn't watch any of the football due to be ill over the weekend. It's just a cold, not COVID. Well, I'm glad to hear that, mate, and I hope you're going to be feeling better soon. Go and watch Match of the Day. Match of the Day on the BBC iPlayer, mate, and catch up with it. It was certainly a good watch. Particularly that your game up at down at Brentford. I'm sure you're not really going to want to watch it, but when you watch it, you'll know why I was kicking off. And James Dunlop says, good win for Arsenal, but it was a game you should be winning. Yeah, well, this is it. And Diesel's right. We're just flat trap bullies. We can, go and beat teams that we're supposed to. But when we come up against bigger and better opposition like Liverpool, Manchester City, Chelsea, we get ripped apart. And I put a comment in Charles Watts' video today because he was banging on about how we were going to get top 4 and how well we've been performing and all this carry on. And I just told him I thought he was talking absolute dog's poo, to be quite frank. And he was. And I put the stats in there to back it up. We got smashed 5-0 by Man City and conceded something like 20 odd shots with 10 on target. We went up against Liverpool and did exactly almost the same. It was embarrassing. Now we can sit there and say we're improving. God only knows. Who do you have next? We got Man United away, mate, on Thursday night. So that's going to be entertaining. Right. So the next game. The next game is Manchester City against West Ham. Now, Manchester City looked comfortably the better team in the first half, and they led 1-0 at the break, despite nearly falling behind early in the game after Ben Rama got the ball caught up in his feet and the chance went away. This was another game which was affected quite badly by the snow, and there was an extended half-time break so that the City ground staff could clear the snow from the pitch. Fernandinho then put Man City 2-0 ahead and quell a little revival from West Ham in the last minute of normal time. And then in the 4th minute of added time, Lanzini gave West Ham a consolation goal when he scored an absolute screamer of a goal. So, yeah, that was quite I imagine quite a disappointing result for West Ham, because I think they would have might have fancied their chances of going up there and getting something, particularly after the impressive wins they've had against Man City of late. We've got a demolition derby on Wednesday. I won't be going because of the kickoff time at 8:15. TV companies can go and stuff themselves. Who is it you're playing? Please tell me it's not the Merseyside derby, because I know you've got Liverpool coming up soon, and I think if you lose that one, I think poor Rafa might get shown the door. So yeah, I don't know, man, but you're right about the TV companies. They don't give a stuff about us supporters. All they care about is this stuff, mate. That's all they really care about. So the next game was find my notes, because I'll never remember any of this stuff, that's for sure. Chelsea against Manchester United. Chelsea against Man United. Now, this game ended in a 1-1 draw. Chelsea dominated the game and they missed a host of chances. Like I said, Chelsea dominated the game and they missed a host of chances before Chelsea were awarded a penalty. What am I talking about? No, that's not right. Yeah, so this game was quite an interesting game because United took a shock lead in the game. Chelsea lost possession to Jadon Sancho after Jorginho miscontrolled the ball, and Jordan Sancho managed to win the ball off him, and he raced clear with one of his colleagues, and Jordan Sancho coolly slotted the ball past the United keeper to give them a shot 1-0 lead. And going into the second half, Chelsea had several good chances after pulling level, but were just unable to find the killer knockout punch. They equalised despite missing a host of chances, and they were awarded a penalty after Aaron Wan-Bissaka missed Aaron Wan-Bissaka fouled Thiago Silva in the box in the 69th minute, and Jorginho stepped up to comfortably convert the penalty, making that obviously meant they was able to make up for gifting United the lead in the first place after he miscontrolled the long ball out of defence. So yeah, it was quite a good game. Chelsea dominated the game in my opinion, but they just couldn't take their chances. But Thomas Tuchel seemed quite happy with their performance. So yeah, it was quite an interesting one. So yeah. So at the end of those games, it meant that Chelsea were 1 point clear at the top of the Premier League from Manchester City. Liverpool were in third on 28 points. West Ham were fourth with 23 points, just ahead of Arsenal on goal difference. And Arsenal were ahead by 3 points from Wolves and 4 points from Tottenham, although Tottenham do have a game in hand, which if they won, would take them to within 1 point of Arsenal. And other notable positions in the league, we've got Everton in 14th position, and Leeds just above the relegation zone on 12 points. And then the bottom three, we've got Burnley on 9 points, and Norwich City on 9 points, and Newcastle still looking for their first win after 13 games on 6 points. So they look like if they don't start picking up points in the next week or so, I think they're going to be dead and buried if they're not already. So now let's move on to the Warren's Team Talk predictions game and see how that's ticking along. So the games were that Arsenal Newcastle I predicted would be a 1-1 draw, and Arsenal won by 2-0. Crystal Palace and Villa, I said that Palace would win by 2-1, and Palace lost by 2-. Palace did in fact lose by 2-1. Liverpool, I said, would win 3-1, and they won 4-0 against Southampton. Norwich and Wolves, I said that Wolves would win by 2-1, and the game ended in a 0-0 draw. And Brighton against Leeds, I said this game would end in a 1-1 draw, and it actually ended in a 0-0 draw. So that was that. I think we've just had another chat come in. So let's just have a look at that. And James, well, there's quite a few chats there. I didn't notice that. Sorry, guys. James Dunlop says it's the Merseyside derby, Warren. Rafa will be gone after that because the fans have had enough. Yeah, I've been hearing rumours that if it goes badly against Liverpool in the week, then that's going to be it. He's going to have cooked his biscuits, basically. And I've even heard stories that there's lots of Everton fans who don't want to go because they just don't want to see you get annihilated, which I can understand, because Liverpool just look frightening going forward. They really do. The way they dismantled Southampton at the weekend and then us the week before was terrifying. James Dunlop says, Arsenal first test for Ranić Ball. I think he's a decent appointment. I would have had him at Everton, either as a manager or as a sporting director. Yeah, absolutely, mate, 100%. I'm gutted that he's going to United, and I think he's gonna get them balling. I really do. I think he knows what he's doing, and apparently he's got a really good track record. And apparently Jurgen Klopp come out and said the other day that the rest of the league should be worried. So there you go. James Dunlop says, for the title, I can't call it at the moment. No, I can't. It's difficult to say, isn't it? It really is. But I'm telling you, Liverpool look frightening. James Dunlop says, goal difference still needs improving for Arsenal. Lack of goals is the worry. It is, mate. Attacking-wise, we're shocking. Absolutely shocking. We scored a third of the goals that Liverpool have. Do you know what I mean? And when you compare the goals for column in the Premier League up against the other teams in the league, it's embarrassing. It really is. Jamie's Poetry says, bonjour, everyone. And James Dunlop says, hi, Jamie. And Jamie's Poetry says, hi, James. Yeah, hi, Jamie. Hope you're well, mate. Nice to see you. Thanks for coming in. It's really good to see you. I hope you're doing well, mate. Good win for the Gunners on Saturday lunchtime. I hope you were happy with that. So, yeah, that was the first lot of fixtures. Let me just move on to the next page. And we can have a look at what happened with the next lot. So, Brentford against Everton. I said the game would end in a 2-2 draw, and thanks to the referee, Brentford won the game by 1-0. Burnley against Spurs, I said it'd be a 1-1 draw, and the game ended up getting postponed because of the weather. And then Leicester against Watford, I said that Leicester would win by 2-1. And they won the game 4-2. West Ham against Manchester City against West Ham. I said that West Ham would win by 2-1, and Manchester City ended up winning the game by 2-1. So right score, but just in the wrong way round. And then Chelsea and Manchester United. I said that Chelsea would win by 3-0. And it ended in a 1-1 draw. So there you go, people. So this is the Warren's Team Talk prediction table after 13 Premier League games. James Dunlop is out in front by 7 points over Mick, who's 7 points behind with 73 points. I'm in third with 61. And Jamie, he came to the competition a bit later than the rest of us, is on 8. So, yeah, not a bad week, really, except for me and Jamie. Jamie and I didn't do very well, but Mick and James did very well. So, yeah, not bad. So, yeah, I just want to big up the GoonerClaude Trust, an excellent charity that was set up in memory of Claude from AFTV when he died earlier this year. And the idea is that they're able to give disadvantaged people, especially children, the opportunity to go to watch Arsenal matches at the Emirates. So, yeah, I put a link to their website in the description of this video. So go and check out this work that they do. Also, just so you know, the Claude and the Bansta's channel, which Claude set up, financially help to financially support the GoonerClaude Trust from the money they make from the Claude and the Bansta's YouTube channel. And yeah, so they make a contribution out of their the money they get from their YouTube activities to help this trust. So fair play to them for that. And then if you haven't done so already, please go and check out some of these other YouTube channels. They're great channels. There's the Old School Gunner, the 3 Pointers TV, Arsenal Alex, DrawnByDre, and the Claude and the Bansters channel. All of them do really excellent Arsenal related content. And the Claude and the Bansters channel, as I said, some of the money that they make from their YouTube activities goes to support the GoonerClaude Trust. So it's well worth supporting and an excellent, worthwhile charity. So yeah, go and check them out, and I'm sure that you will not be disappointed. So James Dunlop says, rest in peace, Claude, gone but never forgotten. Absolutely, mate, and 100%. And Old School Gunner says, all right, Warren. All right, sir. So I hope you're well, mate. I hope you're having a good day. So yeah, so that's the end of the show, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it, and thanks to everyone who's come in and got involved in the chat, and thanks very much to everyone who's going to be watching this on playback. Please don't forget to hit the like button. Please don't forget to subscribe. And please don't forget to share it around with as many different people as you possibly can. I'll be really grateful for that. And I just want to big up the Old School Gunner and James Dunlop, Jamie Hill's Poetry, and this is Luke Alive. Thanks very much, guys, for coming in and getting involved. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was a great show as far as I'm concerned. Old School Gunner said, I texted you earlier. Look at your phone from time to time. Oh, yeah. Sorry, mate. Sorry, I've been busy, unfortunately. Good luck against Man United this week, Warren. Hope for your sake that the new manager bounce doesn't happen. Yeah, so do I, mate, but I think it probably will, to be honest. They did quite well yesterday, United, getting the 1-1 draw up down at Chelsea. So, yeah, it'd be good if we can get something from that game at Old Trafford. But if we can get at least a draw, then I'm sure we will. And so anyway, guys, I'm going to end it there. Thanks very much for coming in. I hope you enjoyed the show, and I look forward to seeing you all again really soon. Take care for now. Bye.